What's up, my fellow Green Lee Sin players out there? If you can tell from the title of the video and the thumbnail, I went to a Summoner Skirmish and actually won first place with my new updated Lee Sin deck list. I made a video about this last week on the updated changes I made with the Spirit Forge cards, and I said I was going to go to some Summoner Skirmishes, and I did, and I got first place a lot sooner than I thought. I thought I would have to go to a couple, especially since my Summoner Skirmish experiences from Origins were pretty lackluster, except for one second place. My first Summoner Skirmish I went to in Spirit Forge actually got first place, which I was super happy about, super ecstatic. It really gave me a lot of confidence in the deck, and really just made me re-love how much I love Green Lee Sin and the deck that I built. And for full context, full transparency, I did not go up against a single Draven player. So maybe I need to go to more Summoner Skirmishes to get my butt kicked by Draven players. And for context, I went up against one Aurelia player, one Victor, one Misfortune, another Victor, and then Lucian in the finals. So I didn't go up against the most rogue decks, depending on how much you think Lucian's a rogue deck. I definitely felt like I went up against, good decks, but I did not go up against, tier 0, the Draven. So I'm going to continue to be going to Summoner Skirmishes and, testing the deck, but, being able to say that I got first place at a Summoner Skirmish, whether that was without facing a Draven player, I'm still proud of it. There were Draven players at the Summoner Skirmish, I just never faced them, and they never got to the finals. So that being said, I'm going to hop into the deck list video. If you saw my last video, this is pretty much that deck list with some minor changes, but I will, go through the cards one by one, just for a little bit more context. And as always, guys, like, subscribe if you like these videos. I really enjoy, hearing the feedback in the comments, the ideas that you guys have, and any questions. I love answering. I love talking about the deck and love talking about Riftbound. So please let me know if you guys have any questions about any specific cards or things that you want to hear more about. All right, so here's the deck list. These first couple cards are the cards that I feel are staples in any green deck. That's going to be 3 Defy, 3 Discipline, 3 Charm, and 3 Not So Fast. These 12 cards, I feel like if you're playing green, you should run 3 of them. I don't know why people don't run all 3 of these. These cards are so strong. For the most part, green is the only thing that has available to counters, moving enemy units, Discipline with a draw, Defy, another counter. Especially in this meta, this just seems so strong to me, and I don't know why all green decks don't run multiples of them. This just seems like the strongest, especially the counters, the Not So Fast, the Defy. In any card game, being able to counter whatever spell your opponent is trying to do is so strong. So to me, those are staples and never would change. 3 challenges are in the deck. I could see why you wouldn't run 3 of these in every single green-orange deck list, but they are so strong in this deck because you are pretty much building a castle wall with Green Lee Sin. Also, if it isn't obvious, I'm running Lee Sin, Green Lee Sin. Challenge is pretty much just a 4th, 5th, and 6th charm because you're pretty much killing anything, and it's also I used to not really care for challenge, but challenges it kills any unit. It doesn't matter where they're at, whether they're at a battlefield or base. As long as you have a unit that's stronger than theirs, you can play this and pretty much kill it. They have to use a reaction, so punch first doesn't work. There are some reaction cards that buff up units, but they can't fight or flight it. So really strong card in my opinion. Going into some other optional cards that I feel like you could play around with the ratios, but I ran 2 punch first, 2 thwonks. These are just combat tricks to ensure that whether you're trying to push in or they're trying to push into you, these are really good against these. These 4 cards definitely get sided in and outs, and I'll get into the side decks and battlefields, but these would definitely be kind of dependent matchup. If as real players, I don't think you're going to need thwonk or punch first. You probably want more wind walls, but going up against Lucian or any combat heavy decks, even Draven, I would feel like thwonk and punch first would still be pretty good. But this is just the ratio I went. I love playing hand heavy trap cards, so just being able to have more cards in my hand that help me with combat tricks really fit my playstyle, and I feel like the playstyle of the deck is just trying to protect the king Lee Sin. Going into the gears, obviously 3 Zonias to make sure that you're protecting your Lee Sin at all times. Great first turn play or whenever you can. Usually you're playing this on your first couple turns because you can't really do much else. You might notice in this deck that there are not many low cost units because there aren't. The lowest cost unit is a 4-drop, so you're really hoping to draw either Zonias or one of your 3 Guardian's Angels. These 6 gears are kind of what you're hoping to see on your first turn, because that's really all you're going to be able to do. You are kind of sacking your first couple turns, but that's okay because not playing weak units are going to make sure that your Zonias and Guardian's Angel is always reviving a really high might character. And don't let anyone tell you that this will drop off the buffs on a unit it revives. If you have a Lee Sin with 5 buffs on it and they have Guardian Angel and they kill it, that Lee Sin keeps its 5 buffs. So you're reviving or recalling a 10 might unit. It keeps all the buffs. Other gear I run, I've gone on a soapbox of Arena Bar. I really think Arena Bar is really good. My last video I go into it a little bit more, but I pretty much see Arena Bar as being able to play your Lee Sin Legend just as a gear itself. They pretty much do the same thing except for you play this once and it's free every turn after that, because you're buffing any exhaust unit. It works really well with Udyr as well. Triforce, I honestly want to fit room for a 3rd Triforce in this deck because Triforce pretty much forces your opponent to come to your battlefield instead of you having to go to theirs. Also, it's additional 2 might on top of it. I wasn't super confident at first, but as I played more and more, Triforce is just really good. It's a win condition on top of your win condition of building up a bulky Lee Sin. It's just really good. The additional 2 might's super strong. It's also a gear that you can play early on in your 2nd turn. So it's just super useful. Sometimes you can do it your first turn if they play the 1 battlefield that gives you an extra rune. So it's just another card to allow you to play early on, so you're not just kind of wasting runes. Going on to the units. So I run 4 Kianas. This is mainly for units to play in the beginning. Kiana can kind of really speed up your draws, or in rare cases runes. Most of the time you want to do draws. It's also just a hard unit for them to get rid of because they deflect. And then I also run 3 Udyrs as pretty much the main support for Lee Sin. Udyr is so versatile. You pretty much always want to see at least one of these a game. If you can drop 2, then you're probably winning the game. But usually this deck does require you in some cases to have 2 units, one being green Lee Sin, the other one being Udyr, or a 2nd Lee Sin on the field. But Udyr just works really well because it's so versatile. You put a buff on him, you can either ready him, give him ganking, stun a unit, deal 2 damage on a unit. It's just so versatile, and when you have so many buffs at your disposal with Arena Bar and your Legend, you really do feel the versatility in him. I dropped this down to 2 green Lee Sin because 3 seemed like too much and I needed the space, but sometimes you do want to drop a 2nd Lee Sin just to get a 2nd big body in the field to start stacking, especially against decks like Ezreal or purple decks where you're afraid of getting rebuked. Having a 2nd big body in the field alleviates the pressure of you having to worry about your 1 big body getting removed, because then you'll always have a 2nd body ready to go. On to the other units. This is, kind of debatable on how you want to run it. 2 Sona I feel is just really good because if she lasts longer than 1 turn, you are raking in the rune profit. You only really want to play her when you already control battlefield. I have done it before where it's just my 2nd turn and I'm playing against a faster deck, so I do want to just get a unit out as soon as possible. That's fine too, because once she pushes into a battlefield at the end of turn, you're still getting those 4 runes back. But essentially, she's a 1 power cost unit in my eyes in most cases. And then if if she lasts the 2nd turn, you're just raking in. And having 4 runes refreshed at the end of your turn leaves your hand up to so many possibilities of what you want to play on your opponent's turn. Seeing as there's so many combat tricks and counters and defies and stuff, you need runes on the other turn to protect your Lee Sin and just pretty much be able to stop whatever your opponent do and control them down. Last 2 units are kind of units I experimented with. Rune Runner, I'm not being sold on it. I'm probably going to cut this out. Akshan, really good against certain matchups. I would say most matchups that aren't Draven, I would honestly side this out against Draven because I feel like it's very niche to be able to steal their spinning axe. If they run 3 spinning axes, that's still just not enough gear. Like, this is very possible a card that's going to get wasted. And usually they only play Spinning Axe when they need the extra might. You want to play this against decks like Irelia, Lucian, other orange decks. Aurora, this is amazing against Aurora. It's really good against certain decks, and so I'm probably going to cut the Rune Runner to add a second Akshan. I'm still thinking about it. But yeah, like Akshan, probably going to cut Rune Runner. That's the deck list. Runes, I run 6 runes, or 6 column runes, 6 of the body. Nothing crazy there. I'm not changing any crazy ratios on that. I would always start off with Monastery of Hirana. Second game, depending on if I won or lost. If I lost the first game, I would start off with Paper Tree. If I won, I would do Vile Mausoleum. So that's kind of how I did it. Always Monastery. Lost, I'd go Vile Mausoleum. Actually, no. If I lost, I'd go the Paper Tree. And if I won, I'd go Vile Mausoleum. This really helps alleviate some of the rune pressure that you have. This is a very power, like energy cost heavy deck. So having extra runes from that really helps. In regards to the side deck, I don't know if I have this organized. Side deck could definitely use some work. This, I had 3 Cannon Barrage, 2 Flurry of Blades, mainly for Victor and Azir, to just pretty much, AoE battlefields down. Didn't really have to use this, and I really don't think token heavy decks or swarm heavy decks are very popular now. So I am, the side deck definitely needs some work. So I would definitely, I'm probably going to honestly cut these cards out and replace them with other things. I will do an update video for the changes I make. I did run a second Rune Runner that I never sided in, and then a Wind Wall if I ever went up against a Draven player. But really, I didn't really side against much, except for when I went against the Victor player. But the Victor player wasn't running a heavy unit deck. He was running the spell Victor. So these cards sided in really didn't do too much for me. So there's a lot of options I can do with the side deck, mainly being probably more Akshans, because Akshan is just so good against Irelia. It's so good against Aurora. So yeah, work to be done for the side deck. Other than that, I'm probably gonna change the ratios on these. But other than that, I feel like the deck is super complete. It feels good. I'm not usually worried about consistency because of all of the low cost gears that I run. Usually your first 2 turns are you dropping gears. Third turn, you're dropping this, attaching those gears, or saving runes up to either buff them or for deflect expenditure. I'm going to continue going to Summoner Skirmishes just because I won one. I'm still going. I love going to them for the the competitiveness of them, trying to get better at the game. I'm hoping to go to regionals. One of these days, I'm hopefully going to be able to record a POV of me playing at either Nexus Night or Summer Skirmish. I just don't know what's appropriate. I don't want to record people without their permission, and so there's that rigmarole. But if you guys want to see those kind of videos where I am out in the real world, the real life, touching grass, and playing against people with this deck, I'd love to show you that footage. That I haven't recorded yet, but I want to. Let me know what you guys think. If that's something you want to do, let me know in the comments. That would definitely get me a little bit more inspired to go out there and do it. But yeah, this is the deck. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys have questions. I love talking about it. I have yet to see one other single player run a deck like this. I know Oran's out there that has that kind of castle build. They are just non-existent. Maybe it's the area that I'm in. But yeah, it's a unique deck. I give people a run for their money for it. If I'm not winning, I'm making them sweat bullets. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna keep making videos about the deck and the little tweaks and stuff that I do to it. Let me know. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Subscribe, like. I will see you guys next time. This is your boy Champion signing off. Have a good one, guys.